Good morning or good evening, wherever you guys are joining in from. I think we first met in 2015 in London after you were introduced to me by my Mark, my brother, who were in the business, and Cora and Michelle.
Right. Actually, now I can recall back. I actually met you when I was in London to conduct the Essential Kangen workshop, right? I remember you were there together with a few other guys. Yeah, I remember very vividly.
Yeah,
and soon after that, I think we actually went out for dinner once.
Yeah, it was I think it was one of the first or second EKW in London, in Kensington, the hotel, where there was only probably like 10 people.
Correct. Yes, that's right. Tissot Kensington, Tissot Hotel.
That's right.
Right. And you know that back in 2015, right? My business in London hasn't even taken off yet. And when I saw somebody in Anthony Tan, right, I was like so eager. I saw something in him. I saw something in him, and there was like a hunger in him. He was really interested in doing the business, but he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure whether it was the right thing for him to do. And that's when we went out. We had a meal together. I remember very clearly then. Okay, so tell us, Anthony, how long did it take you to get to 6A?
Yeah, so maybe just before I share that bit there.
Sure.
I just want to say that I am just a simple, ordinary guy. So I would even say I'm fairly boring. I came out of university with the barely just scraped through the university. The lowest grades at at college, and I've had no sales and marketing background, and my full-time career has always been corporate 9 to 5. Working for a fashion label called Burberry here in London, and I've worked crazy hours, 50, 60 hours a week, and I realized this is what life is all about. This is what I really signed up for, and also at the time there was a lot of job insecurity. Back then there was already the beginning of a recession. And I think one of the first sectors that get hit is always retail. And I thought, and some of my peers, some of the executive members of the team were being laid off, were being made redundant. So, long story short, it probably took me about just over a year to get to 6A.
Okay. So how were you facing? How was the Kangen journey in the first year?
A lot of challenges. I wouldn't lie. It wasn't easy. So many challenges and rejections along the way. Even for myself, I think I think when I first met you, I was already working pretty well at Burberry, and I had no idea what this network marketing, what this direct sales was. In fact, I asked you, and I asked you and Bernard in London or in LA, is this a pyramid scheme? Is this how long have you guys been doing this? I was very shy about the whole journey, and it was a massive fear of public speaking. I think some of you guys shared about public speaking earlier. Like a platform like this would have been impossible for me to speak on. Every time there was an opportunity for me to speak at work, I would ring up the office. I'd just pretend to be ill, and so yeah, I would pretend to be ill, and I would just make up a lot of excuses. I got so good at making up excuses, and so the challenges at the very beginning. So we just did a lot of home demos. We did a lot of demos at home at the very beginning, and one of the best things I think you guys all shared with me at the beginning is just do you know the demo? So one of the first things I tried to do was master the demo. Just some of the very basics, and I was also ripping DVDs. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. I rip DVD. I burn other people's DVDs of the Kangen, the Daniel Dimicali DVDs. I watched a lot of that a lot of the time. YouTube wasn't so big for me at the time, and I started, building up some of my confidence and started organizing events, booking out hotels, and a few people would sign up. On some of my first few events, I probably have 10, 20, 30 people sign up. I think, oh wow, who are these people? And a lot of the time, I go up there and prepare all my projector, my slides, the water all laid out, and everybody started texting me, sorry, I can't make it, but I've got to feed the cat, got to take my daughter to school, blah, blah, blah. And I had 3 people turn up every time, my daughter, my wife, and my mum. so yeah, those were the challenges, a lot of rejections. And it was a big shock for me, because while I was working at Burberry, I used to do quality control. And whenever I visit the factories, everybody would be there. They would all be waiting for me. They would, so I thought, people used to value my time, but here it's it's very, very different. So that was a massive challenge. Yeah. Right.
Now, Anthony, let me ask you, right? Do you know how many machines that you and your group has sold up to today?
Not exactly, but I think roughly the last time I checked a couple of months ago, it was just over 2,000.
Right.
Yeah, it's just around, just under 2,500 globally in a few countries. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question here. Going back to before you decided to venture into to do the Kangen business, right? Did you ever envisage that you could have sold 2,000 machines?
No way. In fact, my wife and my family said to me, Anthony, you'll never even sell one machine. You might sell some machines to your friends and family if you push for it. They said, Anthony, this is not a £300 machine. This is a £3,000 machine. And when I told some of my colleagues, I started carrying some of these bottles around. I said, what are you drinking? It's Kangen. And the first thing they'll ask, oh, how much is it? I said, it's £3,000. I said, what? You have a £3,000 water machine at home? And I thought, oh, God, yeah, that's just game over. And so, yeah, I had to hide the machine when I got home, because I was just embarrassed that people would laugh at me. People did laugh at me. A lot of my close friends and family did laugh and said, you'll never sell one machine. You don't have any sales experience. You have no marketing experience. You can't talk. You always shy away from a presentation. You're rubbish at public speaking. What makes you think? So, so even when I sold my very first machine, I didn't even know how to fill in the order form. They were ready with a credit card. I was shocked. I was really shocked. Really? You want to buy the machine?
Yeah, I remember very well, Anthony. When those back 6 years ago when we first met, you were definitely not the person you are today. I've really seen how you've grown. How you've taken on to the stage. Like you said, you're just so quiet, quite timid actually, right? Those days. But now you're such a natural on the screen. All right. So a big congratulations to you, Anthony, on that.
Yeah, as a person, I've always been somebody who is very, very pessimistic. I've always been somebody who is very skeptical. And I always used to challenge and question everything. And I also used to be somebody who complained. And I was just at that time I was a very, very angry person at everything that was going on around me at the time. But I'm just super grateful that that it was actually, I think it was Michelle and Cora who I met at an event when Mr. Oshiro, the CEO of Enagic, first came to London. And I think if it wasn't for that event, I probably wouldn't be here today. And it was my brother introduced me to the product, for our health reasons. But he tried to get me into the business, and I kept saying no. So just one evening, he just said, why don't you come along for a dinner? He didn't say what it was. He just said, look, I'll treat you out for a dinner. But I said, well, this is a pretty big dinner. There's a lot of people here. And it just turns out that I had Cora sitting on my left and Michelle, Michelle sitting on my right hand side. So there was no chance for me to get out. And and then I just saw all these people going up on stage to share their stories, to collect the bonus. And I thought, oh, this company is real. There is something here.
Anthony, I was trying to work out in my head where you're placed in my organization. And I've just identified that you are 5 levels away from me. So Yeah, I was on the I went to London on a social trip, not to do the Kangen business. That was back in around 2014, and I ran into a friend of mine, and I called him up because I was in London, just to catch up with an old friend, and I asked him to fly with me to go to Energic Germany office. In fact, I paid for his ticket to go there, paid for his hotel stay. And as a result of him making a trip to the Germany office, he decided to sign up with me. And that his name is actually he wasn't my direct. I knew his brother John, and then his brother in London who was Tommy. Then Tommy brought in Chong Akang. Chong Akang brought in Mark, your brother, who's a doctor. Okay, and Mark brought you in. So because of you, thank you to you and your team, you have brought me more than 2,000 machines. And I believe this is just the start of many more great things to come.
Yes, I think you guys have always treated me like family. This is like all of you guys here. This is like my second family, and this wouldn't have been possible without all the mentorship from you guys. And every time, whenever you guys run events, run training, I would stick to you guys like super glue. Right. Everywhere you guys go, I would find myself there.
Yes, we met you at the Energic Global Convention in Los Angeles,
Anaheim. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how many times have you been there?
Only once, and again, I didn't know what I was going in for. I just thought, we might have a chance to go to Disneyland with Mark and Dr. Imran, because Disneyland was just nearby, and we stayed at the hotel. And I think it was crazy. I think there was how many thousands of distributors there, and I was like, I was like a 0A, 1A. And right. I had no idea what I signed up for. And I had, throughout the whole convention, I had tears just pouring down my eyes when some of the speakers on stage were sharing how much this changed their lives. And at the LA convention, that's where we met Cynthia, Daniel DiMicali, Bob Gridelli, all the legends in America. And I said, I want to be part of this. When I share this story, I said, I want to be part of this story. This journey really resonates with me as a person, and this company really resonates with me. So I've had to. Since then, I've just simply copied everything you guys did. There was no secret to it.
I also remember that I believe we have been to a few of the Energic events in Malaysia, at least a few times.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, those of you who don't know, I'm actually originally from Malaysia. I left Malaysia, I don't know, maybe when I was about 5-6 years old. This accent that you see there, there is also a lot of nasi lemak and durian behind this. Also, a lot of Malaysian cuisines. I love going back to Malaysia. Some of my relatives are over there. Although a lot of my relatives are over here too. But I think Michelle and Cora kept inviting me over to, like they kept saying EKW, Essential Kangen Workshop, Essential, come back to Malaysia. What is this Essential Kangen Workshop? And this was, I was already maybe like a 3A, 4A at the time. I've already sold about 20 machines, but I faced a lot of challenges and objections. The business was kind of stagnant at the time. And also I have to admit my bank balance was negative. I had no money to travel to Malaysia. If I did, it will have to be on a credit card again. With crazy rates, and I didn't want to take any more time off. And they said, come back to Malaysia again. And then I think for some reason I took the courage. I flew out with my brother and Imran, who I think they were giving a talk at the time, and that event probably changed it for me. It kind of just blew me away. And during that time, when we first flew back, and then we flew back again, and we just kept going back and back again. And every time I fly back, I pick up something new, or I might invite some of my team to come over. And I thought, if I barely just about to afford a ticket to fly up there, stay a few nights, pay for hotels, it's close to £1,000. That's around probably around 5,000 Malaysian ringgits. But every time we flew back, I just realized my team grew, but I also grew as a person. I developed a bit more confidence, but also at the same time, we filled our calendars. By that I mean we would hire a car, and we would phone up some of the relatives and friends that we had in Malaysia. I said, look, do you want to can I meet you? Can I come and show you something? And we would conduct a demo. And I think at one point we made about 20 sales on one trip.
Wow.
And that was more than enough to. I was really surprised. I was, wow, we could have go back more often. Not only did it pay for the flights and accommodation, etc., but more. Yeah, so definitely the EKW events there, we also got to meet a lot of people like Zahid and Bernard and Chin.
So let me ask you, Anthony. So attending all these events, like going to Las Vegas, coming to the national conventional events in Malaysia, right, and attending all the essential Kangen workshops, how important are attending these events for your team members?
Oh, it's what I call like the 3% rule. So I would invest at least 3% of my monthly income in personal developments. And these events are not just you're just there to learn about the product, the company, but also strengthening your belief, or helping the team to strengthen their belief in the system, the process, the company. And that is, I say, definitely first and foremost. And I remember also going back, meeting you in 2015 in London. That's where you shared two things. So the EKW, the Kangen workshop, and also Landmark. If it wasn't for these two events, again, I would probably say that they account for at least 30-40% of the success, the little success that I have today. I said that I say this a lot of times, that I would need to fill up my own jug first before I start filling other people's jugs. My jug at the time was empty. If I didn't step up myself as a leader, how am I going to enroll some of my team members or others to do the same? So so anytime the guys would come over, I noticed that they also improved in their prospecting skills and in the closing skills, but also the mindset belief, first and foremost, it just goes up tremendously.
Yes, Landmark Forum. That was something which was something major too, which happened in my life. Now I want to also, now that you mentioned about Landmark Forum, right? I have to acknowledge Landmark Forum for making who I am today. In fact, if not for Landmark Forum, I probably wouldn't be doing the Kangen business.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, when you first shared Landmark, again, I heard, what, £500 again? Oh my God, everything costs so much money. And again, at that time, bank balance was negative. It was zero. And one of my friends, she attended the Landmark. A few months later, he came out, and then we caught up, and I asked him, so how was it? What changed? And he shared that he received 2 promotions. He received promotions after promotions at his workplace, and he seemed just more of a confident person. And I said, I like some of that. Who wouldn't want more confidence? Who wouldn't want more success in their jobs or their business? So I signed up. So plucked up the courage that here's £500 from my credit card. Took one day off from work, and I thought, I was going there to learn more about, help more with my sales, my confidence, but I really got to know more about myself. I really got to know more about myself and my roots, believing in my roots, believing in my family. And it was after Landmark, after the first course, the second course, I resigned. I took a plunge. I handed in my notice. 10 years in the fashion industry, complete change in career. My boss thought I was crazy. They wished me all the best, but they just thought, you're going from a fashion industry to something completely different altogether. And I took that jump. And Landmark has taught me and allowed me to find new possibilities. Be probably a bit more confident.
No, if you were to analyze, how what we do with our life, right? It's all about this thing between our 2 years, right? So attending courses like Landmark sort of allows us a chance to really investigate into what's happening between our 2 years, and I guess that accounts for pretty much of what happened to you and me, Anthony.
Yeah, I realized that I was playing very, very small before Landmark. Two, I realized that I had so many limiting beliefs in myself. And again, it was just all the old programming that the society and the world has placed on us. And Landmark has allowed me to basically just kind of mow the lawn, cut the lawn in our back garden, remove all the weeds and start fresh, without any fear of taking that jump.
Okay, so Anthony, let's move on to now. If you were to, if a new guy in Kenyan were to start off in our business, right? What kind of advice would you? What would be the three most important things that you would advise him on?
A new guy starting the Enagic business today.
Yep.
First and foremost, I would ask you to define your goals. Define why Enagic. Why do you want to start a business? And strengthen that belief. And my pain at the time was quite bad. So I had a big pain. It was quite deep. So dive a little bit deeper into what your passion really is, what your drive is into starting that Enagic business, and and ask yourself: do you believe in the product? Do you believe in the business? Do you believe in the company? Do you believe in the process? And do you believe in yourself? So, all these belief questions, first and foremost, because everybody is going at some stage, like me, we're going to hit a wall. And when we hit that wall, the first things that most people do is they give up. And I was almost on the cusp of giving up if it wasn't for finding out what these beliefs was. And definitely, you probably heard these so many times. Find a mentor, find a coach, find a leader who has proven results. Who has walked that journey, who has the results that you want. And when you find that coach, when you find that leader, stick to them like super glue. Stick to them like a dog with a bone. And I think at my early journey, you would have probably found me very annoying, because I would be texting, you, Cora, and Michelle every single night. It's sometimes like 2 o'clock in the morning. I would be messaging you guys all the time. I would be, you probably have to be super obsessed to be successful in Enagic. If you're not obsessed, it's going to be quite challenging. So find a coach, stick very super close to them, because what do they say? They say we are the average of 5 people we hang around with, correct? So if you're going to hang around, and at the very beginning journey, the people who hang around with me at the time, or the people I used to hang around with, were people who complain, people who say, "Oh, I wish the weekend was longer. I can't wait for the weekend. Oh my God, not Mondays again." So rather than complaining, find people who are great at solving problems, people who are, entrepreneurs who are always looking to solve problems, who always have a solution in place. And definitely attend, like I said before, attend personal development programs. So if you're new to this, find a personal development program. Ask your sponsor, your leader, what would be a great personal development program. Attend EKW, or now EKV online, because the EKV just gives you a foundation, a good basis to strengthen your roots, and maybe don't expect fast results. Don't expect the results immediately, because if you think about it, how long does it take a doctor to become a doctor? How long does it take an engineer to become an engineer, to generate that kind of income? People come into the business I was a classic example who made this mistake. And I think, oh God, you've seen all this 4 categories, you've seen all this compensation plan. I want to be making 50K next year. I want to be making £100,000 next year. But I had no training. I had no qualification. I treated this business at the time as like a, get rich quick thing. But I didn't realize that there was some essential training involved, some brainwashing involved, if you like. So some of these doctors and engineers takes 5 years, 6 years, 8 years to become a doctor, correct? To generate that kind of income. And what I thought, what makes me think I could generate that kind of income, overnight? So personal development and maybe don't try and reinvent the wheel. So, in other words, keep it super simple. So there's no secret here. I mean, the compensation plan for you, the product for you is exactly the same product for me. So whatever your leaders are doing, if it's working for them, they have proven results. If they are watching that video demo 100 times, I watch the video demo 100 times. If they say attend events, I attend the events. So keep it simple. Don't try to complicate things. Don't try to make it sound too scientific. It's just a, there's no secret. I carry the pH drops. I show the compensation plan. So if you're new, master the basics. Master the basics of showing the demo and showing the business plan. Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense?
Okay, Anthony, just like to ask, have you ever sold any machine without showing the demo?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But let's say how many percent of your sales come from doing the demos?
How many percent? Okay, so it's two-part really. At the beginning stages, when I was just starting out my journey, I would say probably 99% of my business came from me showing the demo. Okay. Because that's all I knew at the time. I didn't even know the compensation plan, and I didn't know social media. I didn't know digital marketing at the time. And things really change. I say probably during the pandemic, during the last 18 months to now. I probably say a good 80% of my business now comes from me without doing a live demo, without me going to somebody's house, without me having to invite somebody to come over to give away all that water. And they just ring up. They ring up and say, I want to buy a machine.
Wow.
So that really changed it for me was when just before the lockdown. So just before this, can I share a little bit about this?
Sure, please.
So just before the lockdown pandemic, I got to understand a little bit more about digital online. I've never had I had a Facebook account at the time, but I never really fully utilized it, and I never really fully understood or enrolled the power of YouTube and digital marketing. I kind of play around with it. Most of the content, I have to admit, were other people's content. Other people's demos. I simply just uploaded. I just wasn't confident enough to upload my own demo. I wasn't confident enough to record my own thing until I started gaining some traction. People started viewing some of my content, and I started recording. I started recording with just just one of these smartphones on a tripod, nothing fancy, just of me recording like a 3-minute, 5-minute demo. And she's like, okay, I'll try this and put it on YouTube. But I was excuse my French, but I was shit scared of people seeing my face on YouTube. And I was very, very scared of what other people would think about me. What other people would how would they judge me? So definitely don't worry about that. Don't worry about how people view you. There is always going to be people who there's always going to be some negative comments out there, and so yeah, from me sort of utilizing digital marketing content, that's when things really start to change. For example, I would have so many random celebrities, footballers, CEOs, billionaires that we've had a couple of months ago. You just ring up and say, I want 10 machines over in France,
Wow.
a few machines over in Ireland. This is crazy. I'm thinking somebody would actually give me their credit card details over the phone without having to meet me, and then I would sometimes go over to somebody's house. I said, how did you find me? And said, I found you online. And then they would open the door. Ding dong, open the door. And I said, oh, it's you. I saw you. I saw you on YouTube. You're that guy. So, oh, which video? Oh, so they actually found me on YouTube. They contacted me, found me on Google, etc. Actually, you gave me that idea in 2016 when you came over again. You sat down. Yeah. You don't even remember. You sat down on a piece of A4 paper and you asked me that question. Are you doing any digital marketing? I thought, what's that? What's digital marketing? And then I looked into it. And then the second time we met, you asked me the same question. I said, yes, I'm doing digital marketing. I said, I'm doing some Google. So you brought out your phone and you went into Google and you typed in the canyon water, and you said you couldn't find me. And
Okay.
then you said, oh, okay. Then I think you said, if you're not on page 1, your business don't exist on Google. And since then I took things a little bit more seriously, and I scaled the business from very little budget, like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds a month, to now 10 times that.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, as a 6A, you have the luxury, or even as a 4A, you have the luxury with some of these advertisements. You can pay for it. It can pay for itself for a whole year. So random people will just ring me up, and I don't know how we just managed to attract some very, very interesting people, some amazing customers that we're now friends and almost friends and family with.
Amazing.
I've never experienced anything like this. You go to somebody's house, they cook you dinner, and they give you orange juice, fresh juice. You have to do the 4-minute demo, and towards the end, they just hand over £4,000 cash.
Wow.
How much? And they go upstairs and they come down and it's £4,000. And I don't know who was more nervous. My hands were shaking, counting all that cash. I couldn't wait to get to that bank very quickly. So yeah, this is the interesting thing about digital.
So what I would like to do now is I want to congratulate you for overcoming your fears to go on camera and on YouTube. Just imagine if you've not done that, right? You wouldn't be where you are. I mean, getting those sales from your online.
Yeah, and the online thing, has a sort of give and take. There's positive and negative. There is definitely a lot of people who have very, very polished presentation. I just want to share that, try not to make your presentation too polished. It doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you have a smartphone, you can perform a 2-minute demo, a 5-minute demo. That is perfect. That is your story that will resonate with whoever there is in the world. And that's the great thing about online, because it just has a massive reach.
Okay. Now I want to talk about the business here. Anthony, do you present, when you present your business plan, right? Do you always present the 4 categories protocol?
Obviously, I didn't used to, because when I first started, up to about 4A, 5A maybe, it was just purely demo. If there was a business plan, I struggle if somebody wanted to see the business. And that's where the things really, really changed for me, is when you kept asking me, do you know the 4, you introduced to me the 4 category, and I probably watched you guys, in Malaysia or wherever present, I don't know, hundreds of times. And that was one of the first thing I that really clicked for me. And I thought you said you need to start showing this, not only showing the compensation plan. The compensation plan is the compensation plan, but the 4 categories, it shows people the potential of the business. from where they currently are at the moment. So, if I was working full time, I'm earning at the time maybe 40, 50, 60K a year. And, I have to see, oh, this is possible for me. So, if you're not maybe somebody who's not showing this at the moment, start showing it, maybe just on a simple piece of paper. When I started showing the business plan, and the 4 categories, not only was I getting end users, but I started getting business builders too. And that's what everybody wants, isn't it? We don't just want end users. It's amazing, it's great, but the leaders started to click, started to understand, started to take you as a figure of authority. That you probably it seems like somebody you really know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask, right? So currently, right, with the sales that you're getting, right? How many percent of your sales are from just purely end users, and how many percent are from people who are really doing the business? Let's say in the past 1 year.
People who have a percentage of end users, percentage of people who are doing the business. Well, because I'm still my videos are still out there. My digital platform is still out there. For both, I'm offering 2 products. The product as the water machines, and also the business. So it's kind of split really 50-50. And I've got a really good thing here of being able to, over the last few years, to hire some experts in digital marketing to manage that on my behalf, because that is not my forte. That is not my expertise. I just want to be able to focus on the business of meeting people, speaking to people. Digital marketing is not really my thing, and so it's best to just leave it to professionals. So they've been able to track for me where the leads are coming from, and who are, how many percentage are end users, how many percentage are business builders. And I say so it's a good 50-50 mix. And I still really like that. I still like going onto the field, still like shaking the hands, meeting eye to eye. And right. But there will come a point, when you become 6A plus and above, there will be new team members who will be looking up for you to understand, help, to learn from you. How did you get to where you are? So then my focus and my shift is now to become, more. To train, so we run a lot of online training.
Right. Okay.
Particularly during the pandemic when we couldn't meet, so we do a lot of online training, on Zoom training, to help the new guys show them the potential of the business, and show them, and to help them overcome their fear.
Okay. Can I just go back a little bit when I talk about the 4 categories protocol? In your training, right? Do you get your guys who wants to aspire to become business builders? Do you actually sort of get them do you train them to also do the 4 categories?
Oh yeah. Very, very good point. In fact, we did that during the lockdown. I think some of my guys that are here listening at the moment, I can see some of their faces. People like Lena. I can't see everybody actually. Lena, Jenna, and Raj. Some of these guys here. We actually every day. We would take turns, so maybe, one person takes the floor, takes over the Zoom, and this probably, for them, it might probably be some of their first time, conducting the 4 categories. So they would, lay it out like how you probably see me lay it out on a piece of paper, and some of them might make a bit of tumble and mistakes along the way. But a lot of these guys, after a while, they've kind of just mastered it. Some of these guys do it a lot better than I can. So yeah, we train the guys how to master the 4 categories, and then they go out and they share their stories, they share their wins every week, and say, oh, I started showing so and so the 4 categories, and my teams request it. Whenever we run live Zoom presentations for members of the public. The team's always, oh, can you please do the 4 categories? Can you please do the 4 categories?
Yes.
Why? Because they said the members of the public, it just opens their eyes, and the light bulb moment just opens up.
Yeah, I really no, I always stress the point of in my training, right? For business builders, you must do the four categories protocol because with that it gives so much clarity to the business for your prospects. In fact, wouldn't you agree with me, Anthony? Have there been any? I mean, I think you and I know it, but a lot of people out there who do not do the four categories, they don't realize that many of our prospects they come in because of the four categories protocol. Would you agree?
Yeah. I came in, very, very much for that four categories, or at least I got so much more clarity and belief. And a lot of the feedback that we hear from the field, from the teams who have mastered the four categories, are definitely a lot more successful. Definitely not just closing sales for end users, but they bring another prospect back on a freeway call, and they say, oh, this, and I asked, what have you seen? They've seen the demo, the business plan, and the four categories. And these are the
Right.
people that seem to be advancing in ranks, closing more sales faster and more confidently.
Okay. All right. Just for the benefit of those people who are here now, I said I'll be doing the four categories next Saturday. At the conclusion of Antonio's business presentation, which he did today. So that will be happening about maybe about half an hour before our weekly meeting starts. Okay. So okay, next thing I would like to check with you is Anthony. So tell us. I mean, your business has gone international now. So which countries are you into now?
Oof. I think some of my teams probably have to help me out with this, because I would obviously Malaysia, Australia. I think we've got about over just 100 guys over there on the East Coast. Singapore, some random, there's a few friends and customers that came through. I say random because they came through online in the Philippines. South Africa, Europe, all over Europe, some countries over in Canada and America. But yeah, and also, most recent was Oman and in the Middle East and France. So I think I probably missed out quite a few countries. Our apologies.
All right. Now, so now that UK is out of the European Union, so what is the progress with the Enagic UK office?
Ooh. You really want me to share?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Brexit thing. Those guys, you guys will know about. The UK leaving Brexit. That was one of my biggest headaches this year. I think one of our biggest challenges this year was UK leaving the EU. I mean, from a business sense, in terms of Enagic, those of my teams who are in here in the UK would agree with me in this. It's definitely created a lot of challenges logistically, because parcels. In effect, what's happened is a lot of parcels would go missing. They would get stuck at customs for weeks on end. Prior to Brexit, it would have maybe taken around 5 days at the very most to get a parcel to get your machine into the UK. After Brexit, sometimes I've heard as long as 2 months. 2 weeks to 2 months. This is a challenge, not just for. It's very much for the UK government and the couriers that are involved. So over the last few months, I've almost become like a shipping clearance specialist on behalf of Enagic. So what's happened is the HMRC UK government has hired a whole bunch of people who have no experience in our commodity codes, shipping clearance, along with DHL. So you've got 3 parties now involved. The agents, the HMRC governments, Enagic involved in trying to resolve this EU. Which is something that should have been resolved a long time ago. And so whilst at the same time, prior to Brexit, prior to the pandemic, UK was selling around 60 machines a month. So I don't know where that is relatively to some of the other countries. To where we are now, We are now, UK is now on around 500, around 600 monthly. So, and I think, the combination of those two things have sparked Enagic, ignited that fire in Enagic to make the announcement last month. And I think you guys are all aware of the latest announcement from Enagic, all right, of the expansion. You guys want to know what the latest is?
Yeah, please tell us.
You probably heard it. If you haven't, basically, Enagic have announced that finally UK will be opening up their office. So all our operations have always come through from Germany. So Germany ship around 1,500 units every month to other parts of Europe. And I think, we've had some of the 6As over here in the UK had a lot of meetings here with Enagic every time they come over. And I think you and Cora, Samuel, you and Cora have been quite instrumental in helping us, steer us in that direction, and helping us to voice our belief in the company. And I'm currently meeting with Enagic at the moment to source an office in the UK. They are in the process now of signing all the legal documents, and so it is going ahead. It is going full steam ahead. They're signing all the registration papers. So yeah, Mr. Rocher has a big intention here for everybody, and I think they shared that UK, interestingly enough, will be the first office in the world that has had this amount of sales before they open. And I think, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think some of the other offices that open, like in Moscow or Dubai or Thailand, doesn't have this, 3 figures of sales before office opens. So, there is, you can imagine, there is a lot of interest, a lot of excitement for everybody already. Yeah.
Any idea where the office has been shortlisted to be?
It's very, very early stages at the moment.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's very early stages. UK is just so big. I think we definitely want to be able to meet everybody's criteria, because everybody's going to be coming in from everywhere.
Okay.
And London,
Anthony,
UK is quite big. It's quite expensive too.
Can you tell us? Can you share with us now what are your biggest goals for Enagic going forward?
Biggest goals for Enagic is helping the teams achieve similar or better results than what I've achieved so far. Helping them understand that anything is possible. Helping them understand that that how to help them scale and grow their existing business, and maybe for me, sponsoring less, but also at the same time focus on team building, on building pushing up and bringing up some of those leaders, and see how we can shorten their journey, help them not to make the same mistakes that I've made along the journey, and I think this pandemic has made things a little bit different in the sense that there is a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of young guys coming out into the marketplace, unemployed or still looking for a job, or people that are a lot of people have been made redundant. And I think a lot of people, you guys, from where you guys are sharing, are looking at the same similar situation, being redundant or had their pay cuts. So yeah, that's one of my goals, is just to help some of these guys see what is possible with our business model, with network marketing, with Enagic, as all coming out as a young entrepreneur. I believe, I'm a firm believer, obviously, in the product, in the business, and the people that we work with. So I think a lot of people are quite unhappily unemployed with where they're off at the moment. So, and I just want to help some of these teams and these new guys coming in, show them what is possible.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony, okay, we just before I go, how is the COVID situation in the UK now?
It's a little bit more relaxed now. I think last month we came out of COVID. Pretty much now, a lot of businesses are still. Some of my friends are starting to trickle into the office now. And I was speaking to some of these guys we met up with. They have not been in the office for the last 18 months. Some of these guys have not been in the office. They have not entered into central London for the last 18 months. They've all been stuck at home. They've all been working offline. They've all been working online, in their own kitchen, in their own home. And, people are now starting to meet up. Events are starting to open up. And I think the situation is very different elsewhere. But from our perspective, it has really opened up a lot of doors, because people, while they're sitting at home, have realized that that the world is changing. How we operate, how we do business, how we interact with each other, and technology has played a big part. So, from that sense, this is where we're trying to introduce the digital marketing platforms to as many people as possible, that they can generate an income from their own laptop. They can generate a second income from their mobile phone, and that COVID hasn't really affected my business as such. If I can fairly say, in fact, it's done really well. I don't know if I can say that. COVID has done really well. Some of my best months has been the last 18 months financially, from what it is. So I think if people are able to adapt to the changing environments, there's definitely a massive opportunity for everybody. And I think you guys over in Asia have seen massive growth too, right?
Yeah, so I think that was a very important key message from you for all of us here. In spite of the COVID situation, your sales has actually gone up, and that's because of you're very much online. So guys, getting online is something that you can't do without. Okay, we're coming to a close to the conclusion of this interview with you here, Anthony. Thank you so much. But before we go, right, any last words?
Maybe if I can just share a few things for in terms of a couple of things, maybe with existing distributors at the moment who are who might be stagnant at the moment.
Yes, please.
Are not getting anywhere, or their business have almost come to a halt because of the pandemic, or whatever conditions you guys are facing at the moment. One of the things that I sort of wake up with and is what we call the white belt mentality. In karate, judo, we operate the white belt mentality. So you start at the very bottom. So if you hit a 6A or a 6A2 and your business is stagnant, operate the white belt mentality. In other words, you hit the reset button, and so you move up. And, with the white belt you can only move up, yellow, brown, etc. And just try and step outside your comfort zone at the moment, because one of the great things about Enagic is it is growing, it is expanding, crazy, especially I think Africa as well. And I've seen some massive growth out there. And maybe just take a stand if you have some 0As and some 1As in your team at the moment you've not spoken to. Maybe just get in touch with them. Get in touch with them and how you can see how you can remove some of their limiting belief. And from a company perspective, in terms of Enagic, can I share what Enagic really means for me?
Please.
Yeah. I've got the pleasure of meeting Mr. and Mrs. Oshiro, the CEO, on several occasions. And I was actually saying, I was actually talking about this with some of the Enagic staff, that this is a CEO, this is a company that is very accessible. This is a CEO that is very, very hands-on. Aside from the fact that this is a high-ticket item, aside from the fact that it pays very, very high commission, compared to other MLM companies, the company pays very well, high ticket, high returns, and the company has seen massive, massive growth. If you're there, probably thinking that people are unwilling to invest because of what's the situation at the moment, or you might have faced a lot of rejections. You're not alone in this. There is some incredible leaders and culture in our organization. Just pick up the phone and send them a message, get in touch with them, because there's no bricks and mortar. there's no bricks and mortar in this business. It's, it's relatively fairly low interest, low investment to generate this kind of income on a long-term basis. And if you think back 20, 30 years ago, there was a group of guys from Silicon Valley. A group of guys from Silicon Valley put some presentations together. They wanted to show the whole world how computers work, how the digital online platform works. From their own garage. Nobody listened. Nobody listened to them. Everybody ignored them. And now, 20 years later, everybody's using their technology. And these guys are worth billions and billions of dollars. So my question to everybody is, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want to pay the price? We can't go into a showroom. Can't go into a Rolls-Royce showroom with a Honda Civic mentality. Nothing wrong with Honda Civic. I'm just maybe not a good example, but yes, you guys are the people that are going. You guys over here that are listening are the people that are going to move the needle. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Anthony. I'd like you to stay on, right? Before you go, I want to help you. I would like to request you to help me promote the Essential Kangen virtual workshop, which is happening in 2 weeks' time. All right. And it's going to be starting at our time, Malaysia time, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is about UK, about 7 o'clock in the morning. So now, okay, I'm now going to share the details of the Essential Kangen workshop. Okay, so it is happening on the 2nd of October, 2 weekends from now, and the price is going for $15 US dollars early bird price. The last day is but next weekend will be the last day, and I've just shared the link for you to register there. And here is I would like to share the details of this. So now, for those people who has never attended the Essential Kangen workshop, right? It is a workshop that I've done, that we've been doing for the last 7 years now, and it is our signature training program for the Kangen business. All right. And Anthony, would you be able to just share a bit about this Essential Kangen workshop?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Essential Kangen workshop is basically instrumental to where I am today. If it wasn't for the Essential Kangen workshop, I definitely would not have had the success that I've been sharing with you today. So what I shared earlier, that in the past, I would have had to fly back to Malaysia. I would have to fly to Dubai or wherever. And I have to invest £500 for the airplane ticket, and a few hundred more for accommodation, food, etc. And also take 3-4 days of my time to fly out there away from my family and away from the job to attend this event. But now for $15, $20, a fraction of the price that you can experience, you can get the same experience. Obviously, yes, we love we love the meeting eye to eye. The content is exactly the same. What you'd be getting at the live event, you're getting live exactly over here, and you at the comfort of your own home. But if you think about it, the commission for investment wise, the commission for 1 point on an SD or a K8 SD501 is €250. And if I was to ask you guys to maybe sacrifice 1 point just to invest in 10 tickets for yourself and some of your teams, what would it mean for you? What would that mean for you if maybe just one person, really understood, really got it? Would that be a worthwhile investment for you and your teams? Yeah. So some of my teams, I think the most I brought was about 15, 20 people. And I've been involved in Magic now for 4 years on a full-time basis, and I'm still attending. I've probably attended the workshop for over 50 times, 60, 70 times, over and over again. So why would I attend this over and over again? If you're sitting there thinking, I've not attended once or I've attended twice, why would I want to attend this event over and over again? It's quite simply because it works. It helps my team to grow. It helps me to grow. Every single time I attend, I learn something new. I pick up something new. So don't delay it. The best thing to do, I think Sam always says, is commit to it. Lock it down in your calendar, commit to it. You don't have to worry about it. Lock down your calendar and work towards thinking how you can get 10 people to the next event. Okay. And the bigger mistake I've always made in the past is I've always said, oh, I wish I brought more people. I wish I invited more people to fly back to Malaysia with me. But now you don't. They can stay in the comfort of your own home. Okay. So yeah, that's my 2 pennies worth, Sam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anthony. Can we invite Bernard? Bernard, you're here. Can you just are you available to just come in, just say hi and to everybody here? Bernard?
Yes. Hi everyone. Hi Anthony. Anthony, you just crushed it. I gained so much value, I believe I speak for everyone here. Yes, Sam, is there any specific thing you want me to speak about?
No, just a few words to perhaps fire up people.
Oh gosh, few words. First of all, I just want to say that I endorse and I gain a lot from EKVW. I like Anthony. I can understand why, Sam, it's your signature. It's just, even till today, every now and then when I attend, it's just mind blowing, the potential. But I just like to mention what I've always mentioned. Now, out there, I believe all you users who have benefited from Kangen machines. Example, just on increased energy. Those who have increased energy after drinking Kangen water. Can you please type 2? Type 2. Now, I have an associate, a downline, that recommended this machine to a representative of Red Bull in some part of China. And on a private basis, a Red Bull rep says, this water gives me more energy than my own product. I'm not going to say, he wasn't talking about the negative side effect of the chemicals, just on the efficacy alone. Red Bull is a rich company, just on energy alone. Now, how's that as a business potential? Now, we want to talk about other things, but we're on Facebook Live. The water helps us with so many things. Now, listen, guys, I know of no health-related product in terms of efficacy, how should I say, to the point of tangibility, noticeable difference. I know of no one singular product that is hit rate is higher than Kangen. For those who have been involved long enough, if you agree with me, please type 1, which I'll come to my point after that. As for the rest, look, guys, with this product alone, even if it is an inferior compensation plan, we should be making a lot of money. With the product alone with an inferior compensation plan. But guess what? We have an amazing compensation plan as well. Coupled by one more fact. Sam, you correct me if I'm wrong. This 47-year-old company has done only less than 1.5 million units.
Yeah, that's right.
A water that works like crazy. A compensation plan that is patented and it's an amazing compensation plan. A 47-year-old company where it gives us a basement one opportunity because it's less than 1.5 million units in the world. Don't you think we should have the white belt mentality? I was listening, Anthony. Every time I say this to people, I get excited myself. Yeah, so guys, this opportunity, in the words of Daniel Demarcali, comes once every 3 generations. Now, if we are not crushing it out there, it can only be a combination of a few reasons. Number 1, we're doing it wrongly. Number 2, we are not working hard enough, or the combination of these 2. So guys, go out and crush it there. Start by attending EKVW 2 weeks time. Over to you, Sam.
Thank you so much, Bernard. Okay, so okay, I'm just going to send a link now in the chat box for the Essential Kangen workshop. Guys, if you are in the business of the Kangen business, I mean, in our business, this is the workshop that you must get in over and over again, and also for you to utilize to bring in your new people, your team members, and even existing ones who have just punctured. Get them in here to be resuscitated. So let's give a big thanks to Bernard. All right, and also the main guest disputer for the day, Anthony Tan from London. Let's all give him a big hand.